To serve means to actually be beneficial to another person. Service is you employing something that you have for a cause that is bigger than you.
Let me tell you the truth is there's no way you can be honorable and there's no expression. Now, the Bible speaking in Galatians 4:1 said, "Now I say that the hair, as long as he is a child, does not differ at all from a slave. Though this hair is the Lord of all, but he's placed under guidance."
Yeah.
Powerful. Tutors to bring that hair into maturity before your own destiny or before what God has for you will be
handed over to you. Yeah.
We go to
Foolishness. Can we start with something like this knowledge that we have?
I've already started.
Good to be here. Start now.
You don't start to say, "Oh, start now."
All right, let's start. Let's do this. Okay. Good to be here. Good to be here. Thank you for following us all through previous episode. And this time, we are privileged to also bring the counsel of God concerning a particular topic. I'm going to keep that first. Brother Zenon, how have you been?
Very well, my brother. I'm well. All pumped up for today.
Yes. It's been good. It's been good. This is our 4th episode, and it has been a blessing.
Yeah.
I myself am being impacted.
Yes.
All right. I mean, sometimes when you speak and then you hear yourself say you need to also get soaked in these things as well.
Make adjustments.
So we are not like we are loading it over people. We are also getting transformed by the word. No one is exempted when it comes to the things of God. So today we will be talking about something that is quite, we like to say controversial, but anyway, something that a lot of people who really, I think that they've had some experiences and negative experiences, and then because of that, they've made a judgment or they've made their own narrative concerning service. So they say, I'm not serving service or foolishness. So I'm not going to serve anybody. Church, they use you for church. Wow. Why they go church like that? They use you. And the man of God, he fly out. The children, you are being used. What would you say concerning a matter as as important as this?
Well, like I said earlier, it's good to be here.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. I think I would have to say this first. If they are using you, that means you are useful. Yes.
I love it.
If they are using you, that means you are useful. If they know they use you, question yourself, my brother.
Is beautiful.
So if they are not using you, question yourself.
Yes.
These are things, statements come up and they become popular.
Yeah.
We need to ask who is sponsoring this.
Yes.
Who is sponsoring this? I always try to look at situations and I ask who is behind this? Is this God? Is this kingdom? Or is it Satan masquerading or having masked himself in what seems to be wisdom? Sometimes the enemy presents things to be logical.
Yes, logical.
But these things are anti-God, they're anti-kingdom.
Yes.
So we must ask ourselves, who is sponsoring this?
Yes.
Did they use you? Did they use you? Did they use you? I did useful. That's usefulness for my body. So that's why they are using me. Anyways, what is service? To serve means to actually be beneficial to another person.
Beautiful.
Lots of people, our lives are just about us. If it's not about me, if it's not for me, then I'm not going to engage.
Yes.
That's a small life. That's a tiny life. Our lives should be more than about us. Service, yes, there is service in the church, but it's beyond the church.
Yes.
You can even start serving from your home.
Yes.
Service is you employing something that you have, employing something that you know for a cause that is bigger than you. For
bringing your own contributions,
contributing to a greater cause.
Yes.
So that is what I see service as. And for me, I perceive service as a privilege.
Oh,
because
beautiful.
it's in service that we are made.
Yes, yes.
It's in
The
service that we are
made.
equipped.
Yes, yes.
We're equipped in
It
service.
is service. Wow. I would dare say that it's in service that we are trained for, what God even have for us in serving others.
I've seen people come into church clueless, come into church not knowing their left from their right, and they maybe join a unit and start serving, and in few years, it's as though these people have figured out their whole lives.
Yeah,
It's as though these people came ready.
Yeah.
But it was in service that God started making them.
Yes.
God was breaking them. God was forming them.
Yes.
You give your life to something that is bigger than you.
No wonder the Bible said, if you have not been faithful in another man's who will give you your own. So it takes another man's own to even get yours, to access yours. So when you're faithful in that man's own, then you see God is going to open you up into...
So it's qualification to even have your own.
So and you see, the world might not understand because, the Bible said something that they that are without, they lack these things because they are without, they are without the Spirit. So, and the things of God are not, they are not carnally comprehended. It's not something it's to the natural man is foolishness. All right. It is to the carnal man is foolishness. All right. So how do we bridge that point where that these people or people who just get into the faith, but they just want to come to the church and sit and warm up the church and say, I don't want to get involved with anything concerning church. I just want to come here and go. How do we bridge that place? How do we bring that closure?
Dome, I think it's even part of that mindset that is flying around, that they are using you. Some people feel like, I don't want to be used. So they come anytime they want. There's no commitment. The benediction is not even over.
They are gone.
They are gone. Okay. Yeah. So it's a very wrong mindset. It's a very wrong mindset because you need to be planted somewhere for you to grow.
To grow.
God wants you to grow, but He has to plant you. And part of the process in planting is death. When a seed is planted, the seed has to die first before new life can come out. So lots of people, what they want to do is they want to keep their seed. For example, now maybe a beans seed or something. They want to keep it, preserve the seed, hold it. But Jesus said that the person that preserves his life will lose it.
Will lose it, true.
So you think you are preserving it, you are losing it. God wants you to give the seed of your time, give the seed of your talent, give the seed of your energy, give the seed of your resources.
Wow, beautiful. Beautiful.
Because you serve with everything. You serve with everything.
Jesus, one of the first, before the announcement of his ministry, we were told that he had a forerunner. Someone had to set the pace. It took John the Baptist to set the pace for Jesus' ministry. It took someone to set the pace. You see how that Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist. So you see, Jesus, this is God in the flesh. But another man has to be the forerunner, has to be the one who set everything in place. In fact, he went ahead and said, no man is greater because of the level of his assignment that man had. No man is greater than John the Baptist. John the Baptist, as
the prophet and all.
Yes. In fact, no one is greater except that we now, with the Spirit of God, the least of us is greater in the kingdom. But this is what I'm trying to get at. Now, John the Baptist Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist. And in fact, John the Baptist was like, I'm not qualified in a sense to do this. But Jesus said something. He submitted himself. He said, suffer it to be so. So what I'm taking it from you, no matter the level of assignment, prophetic you are running, no matter the level of whatever assignment, you must understand that there is place that God, there's a system God has put in place
Yes,
that he
sir.
must go through. If Jesus go through that system, you also have to go through it.
Yes, sir.
Because he was baptized by John the Baptist, even though John the Baptist was in himself, because he knows the Messiah, but he was like, no, suffer it to be so for now, for the fulfillment of the kingdom. All right, suffer it to be so. And when we go ahead, you see, I remember when the sons of Zebedee, where you have James and John now, when their mother came to Jesus and said, "Oh, I want the woman was, hey, I want my children to be, in fact,
It looks like an African
mother finding a place for their children, fast, bidding for them,
Yeah.
bidding for them." Jesus said something. He said, "See." He first said, "Can you drink of this cup?" And all. He went ahead and said something. He said, "He that must lead must what? Serve." You must serve.
You want to be the greatest.
You want to be the greatest among the leadership is actually service. Leadership is service. What it means is to pour your life into something. Which you pour your life into it. And Jesus showed this pattern. So I want us, because one of the things we're doing is that we want people to see it in the pattern of Christ. Which we need to see it. Is our example.
Yes.
Perfect how that before he went to the cross, he had to wash the feet of his disciples. He had to wash the feet of his disciples. What does it take to wash? You have to calm down. There's a posture that you have to assume.
Yes.
You have to calm down.
And Peter no agree.
And Peter, yes. Peter was like, but he was trying to point them to something.
Yes, this is the culture of the kingdom, because the pattern was alien to them.
Yes.
It was like, amongst you, it shall not be so.
So, yes.
Because lording it over, that's not how it is.
Yes, we don't lord, yes. He said to others, they lord it. They lord it, no. But in the kingdom, it's not so. So he that wants to be great, whatever you want to lead, you must bow. Yeah. So you must serve. So how then do you how then do you get to the throne or get to the top without first staying under for tutelage? Do you understand? So it's something that we must have a vivid understanding about.
Yeah.
A vivid understanding about that service, like you said, is a privilege.
Yes,
to be able to serve, especially in the house of God.
Yeah.
Even in your workplace, what are you bringing to the table? What impact will be felt if you decide to leave?
Yeah.
Would it be like nobody ever came? In your environment, in your place of work, would they recognize that there was once a believer that reside here? What impact are you bringing?
So it's a beautiful thing to see what God is doing. I mean, even in this platform, I'm sure testimonies will keep rolling in.
Yeah.
You know how I used to think this way, but after engaging with this platform, I saw that this is not how God intended it, and I'm being changed.
Yes.
So many a times we come to church and we hear things in church, but it ends in church. Because you mentioned something. Would they know that a believer once was here?
Yeah.
Because we are supposed to shine our light.
Yes.
We find many believers, they come to the workplace and their only concern is the salary. They're waiting for the
end of salary.
Salary is important, of course, very important. A worker is worthy of his wages.
True.
But what about the vision of this corporation? Are you concerned about? And you see, something is happening in our generation. You've heard people say, I cannot work for anybody.
It's not from a place of knowledge, my brother.
It sounds
it is
cool. It sounds cool.
The
I
motive
cannot work for anybody.
It's not even from the place of knowledge. Most of the time, it's from the place of pride.
It's pride most of the time.
Most of the time.
There are people who have they have ideas in their head. They have visions they want to pursue. It's very understandable. But no matter how grand the destiny is, you must serve. You must serve. See, there are things that are better learned under people than that experience teaches you. Someone said that experience is
the best.
Is the best teacher.
But sometimes you might experience that thing, you will not come out of it. So I will tell you that you better work on people who have had the experience that are ahead of you and learn from them.
Learn from people's experiences, and you don't have to wait for your own. Of course, while engaging in whatever you are learning, you are gaining your own experience.
Yes.
But never rule out the place of learning and serving. you're a believer, you are in a work environment, you are the one that comes late.
Yeah.
You are the one that's closure time is not yet there. You're already packing your bag. And at the end of the month, you are the first person to complain that salary has not been paid. What kind of light are you showing? You're not even showing any light.
Yeah.
Service extends into the home. You know, service, like Jesus showed us, it's not about I'm making reference to the home now.
Yeah.
Saying I'm the leader and you want to lord it over the people.
Yeah.
Do you know that the father in the home can serve? The mother in the home can serve. The man can serve the wife. The parents can serve the children. And it's even in this experience that the children learn that, okay, I'm not. You find children in school and they are bullies.
Yes.
Where do you think it came from?
Yes.
They just want to.
Yes.
They just want to impose things on others. They want to impose their will. They want to make others feel small. Where did you think these things came from?
I saw it somewhere.
So it was seen from the home.
Yes.
Probably. Yes, there's the place of the media. People who don't censor what their children watch and they get things and begin to display. But service is even seen in the home. The children, you are supposed to serve. I don't understand this thing where children are growing up. You have teenagers and they don't do nothing in the house. Thank God for your affluence as a parent. And your children don't do nothing in the house. You have help doing every single thing.
You're building up the help, but neglecting.
You are killing those children. I know growing up, we had rules. I had
there's
something. Once I wake up, this is my job.
There's something to bring to the table.
I have to go
there's
do this.
Something to
and
bring.
If I don't do it, the spanking I'm going to get. Okay? So you find people growing up and they don't learn. Our first episode, I remember we spoke about fatherhood, place of. So there are a lot of things in the home that needs to be set straight.
Yes, set straight.
And of course, the fathers, the parents, they have that role of God. That they have that responsibility of God to set these things straight. Don't leave things to chance.
Yeah.
We mentioned that the family is the first and the primary institution that God set up.
Yes.
So lots of people who are not willing to serve.
Yeah.
Some of it started from the family. They were growing up. They weren't taught that you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. So that place of pride in the place of work, in the church, usually starts from the
another angle I see that as actually, that are actually crippled into the system of of allowing the world now to to define the church system or the the God's system is now. I think for young people they've lost the place for honor. Let me tell you the truth is there's no way you can be honorable and there's no expression. If you love God, there will be an expression.
Yes.
There's a expressive part of that as well.
Yeah.
There's going to be like sacrifice. There's going to be like your own part.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's going to be you. It will be clear. So the fact that you said, "Oh, I love God. I don't." You said, "Oh no, I don't go to church. I love God. I don't have to go to church because I don't know." That's we need to understand how it works. God set this principle in place.
Yeah.
God set this principle in place. I have something I wanted to say. Now, the Bible is speaking in Galatians 4:1 said, "Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, does not differ at all from a slave. Though this heir,
the Lord of all,
is the Lord of all, but he's placed under guidance."
Yeah.
Powerful. Tutors. What happened? To bring that heir into maturity.
You have to repeat what you just said now.
You are giving guidance, you are giving steward to bring you into maturity before your own destiny or before what God has for you will be
handed over to you. Yeah. It's your inheritance.
It's your inheritance.
But you have to become.
You need to become.
And in service we become.
And
God
in service we become. So
in service.
God has to, now in the Eastern culture, the slave is the one, that is the one,
Presumed to
to
serve.
presume to no the slave. The slave, right, is the one now assuming the place of master.
Okay.
That the father will not even come in. The slave is expected to train this child
Oh, yeah.
to maturity. In fact, the slave has the right to whip that child in the Eastern culture. That the child will grow until the child is like the child gets to 18, for instance, in our own, then that child becomes the master, because at that point the slave then hand over, okay, this is what you do now. This slave has taught the child how it works. Then his inheritance or her inheritance will be delivered to. So you see, there's a place of that guardian. There's a place of that mentorship. So in our society today, it might not be this way, but there's something we can learn from it. That now, whether ministry, you need those prophecy, you need those voice over your head to build you. And you must show, in the place of service, you must show commitment.
Yeah.
You must go through this process.
Yeah.
A lot of time we just want to get it all. No. We must understand the volume of what God has for us, and then the place of us to serve.
You must state it clearly that service is the pathway to honor.
Yes.
Service is the pathway to fulfilling destiny. There's no fulfilling destiny without service. You must, the way in the world to go up is to start seeking your own to go up. But the way up in the kingdom is down. You have to go down to rise.
Before you ascend.
You must go down. You must go down. So, in part of, you asked me a question earlier, part of the reasons why people come to church, for instance, and they are not willing to serve, they just come and they go, is because maybe they've experienced something in the past. They've been in an environment where, you know,
they served.
It was as though they were used and then dumped. You know, it was as though people loaded it over them. Is there a word like loaded?
But Lord sit over them.
You get my
Lord
point.
sit over them.
You know, it was their experience, and they were not put into consideration.
Yes, I think that is because they took their eyes from the who they are to serve. The church or the platform you're serving, your service is to God, not to man. So,
but you have to serve through men.
Through men, yes, you have to serve through men. But however, if you want to get, if you think that as you're serving, you want to get confirmations or compliments rather from men,
right?
To give your best, then you have some sort of
undertone to your service.
Because you need to understand that it is the rewarder, is this God that bless. It is God that that bless. All right, God is not unworthy to forget our labor of love. Right, it is God that rewards. It's God that bless. However, He puts men for us to serve. These men can also.
So you're actually saying that some people have misplaced expectations.
Yes,
they have wrong expectations.
Yes, and that's where it comes from. When anything happens, they feel so bad.
They feel hot.
They feel hot, and so you need to understand that your service, is unto God. Even though you're serving men. But you see, God, I think men is God's method.
Yeah.
All right. As I said, men is what men are God's method. So yes, you have to understand how the kingdom works, and if you do, then the blessing. You get the blessing. Because if your motive is wrong or your understanding is wrong as well, you might not get the full blessing of that.
Yes. I think speaking to what you already started saying is Paul speaks about pleasing his enlisting master.
Yes.
So another thing to note is that you don't serve how you want.
Yes.
There are people that serve how they want. How it's convenient to them. How they feel it's okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the student's role is to write the exams but there is someone who puts,
Checkmate, yes.
who marks.
No marks, yes.
And there is a scheme for marking. There is
Yes.
a standard for marking,
Yeah.
and the student never determines it.
Yes. Yeah.
So you must understand that there is a a standard to
Yes.
service,
Yes.
and bringing it home to serving in the kingdom,
Yeah.
or serving in the church.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned that we are not serving man, we are
Yes.
serving God,
Yes.
but we must serve through
True
men.
man, yes.
So if
Yes.
we are serving God, we must understand that God is a king. You don't serve kings how you want. There is a standard, there is a way.
Yes.
Someone will say that there are protocols to the palace.
Palace protocols, yeah.
You must do this way, you must do that way.
Yeah.
So you serve to please.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yes.
how does God want us to serve? How does God want us to serve? Or is it you just serve anyhow? Okay, they said I should do this thing, I will do it. No problem. How are we supposed to serve?
You know, it's important. That's a very powerful one. That's a very powerful one. Now we must serve with it. We must serve like I said before. We must serve with what? Understanding. We must serve with the right motive.
The right motive. So the heart must be right.
The heart must be right before God. All right, and then we must know who our service is unto.
Glory.
It is very important that we know who our service is unto, and we must serve. You know, under the leadership of whatever platform, of whatever body we are serving. Under the leadership, you don't serve the way you want. You serve the way your leader, you know, asks you. So we must, if you build, I want you to build something, but build according to pattern. Make sure you do it with exactitude and precision. Make sure you do it with the whole of your heart. So these are the things that we put in place, that even when your master is not there, you're doing the right thing. Even if no one is seeing you, you're doing the right thing, because you have the full knowledge, or you have the right knowledge for service. But you see, when you don't, you begin to think that, oh, I don't know, my master is not here, so I can do the way. No, I can do the way.
So that's eye service.
That's eye service. That's eye service. And that's not what, you know, that's not, with that, you don't get the blessing. With that, you don't get, there's a place of a natural blessing. That's why even Bible talks about how that if you do some things in a natural way, men will bless you and all that, but you won't get the reward of heaven.
Talking about eye service, can we give a badge to Gehazi? Does he represent that?
I would say Gehazi, yes, because in the eyes of the master,
yes.
he, if not that it was dealing with a prophet,
there
was a spiritual eye has been, and he has to know that
yes.
But he was easy. You can give him that badge.
Okay. No, I'm gonna prepare the badge for you.
You can give him that badge. I hope he repented. I hope he repented. But you see, we didn't get to. That's one of the things we know about Gehazi.
There was no transition. The way the grace transition from Elijah to Elisha. There was no. It was supposed to be Elisha then Gehazi,
yes, but there was no transition. So
it actually means that service positions you to receive grace. Service positions you to receive grace. So someone who is not rightly positioned in service, whether it's that you are not serving at all or you are serving with the wrong heart, grace may miss out on grace.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And one of the things we should know about service is that when we serve, things get rubbed off. We get imparted. Yes. It brings a lot of now, because if it is in the ministry, for instance, what you've done is that you've actually aligned yourself to that ministry. The grace that is available for that house begin to work. So this grace work for people who serve, not for attendees. Do you understand? So yes, there's a place for attendee, but you must come from the place of being an attendant to a place of being family. When you go to the house, when you see things, you become part of it. So it rubs off. There's a place that's where it rubs off when we serve, and that's why in fact, one of the way, for instance, a lot of people think take this measure, the Eastern way of service, where you serve a master for like 7 years and then you get freedom. It's one form of service that is so beautiful in a sense.
You will not believe that it's studied in Harvard.
See, I had that and it was beautiful. And I've thought that it's now what happened is that you are so close to your master, because you're learning and you're training your mind for the future. And if you saw, that's why you see a lot of time these people tend to have some certain level of result.
Yes. Serious result. They call it Iba boy. Something
But
like
you
that.
understand? And that system has been
Apprenticeship.
it has been, something that's been transitioning years, proven to be very effective.
Yeah, proven.
So why? Because it brings you to that place where you learn the trade. You understand. So you understand what it takes to be in that position. Even in the place of in the ministry, for instance, you learn. And that's why, so you can then come in, and that's why most of the time young people shouldn't start going for money.
Yeah.
Go for places where you can.
We spoke to that
last week.
So
go look.
Check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
Where you can just offer your gift wholeheartedly, and that's where you begin to learn, get prepared, and all that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I think I also need to mention that you never graduate from service.
No, you don't.
You never graduate from service.
Yeah.
If someone was going to graduate from service, I think that would be Jesus. But he served even till death.
The last.
So service is a lifestyle. It's not a stage of your life. Because someone can actually mistaken it that, okay, at this stage of my life,
it's just service.
Let me
then
be
after,
serving. So you've heard service is the way to the throne. Such things. Service brings you to the throne, yes. But it's not a phase of your life. Service is a lifestyle. It's a posture of the heart where you're always looking at. When you make friends, you are looking at, how can I be valuable to this person? Do you know praying for a friend, a brother, is
you
service?
Offering service, yes. Beautiful.
You see a situation, you offer your expertise, you give your advice. It's service. That heart posture keeps you steadily receiving.
Yes.
A heart that is postured to serve is a life that inevitably will be lifted.
Yes.
So you are positioned to serve in your heart. You are certainly going to be lifted. And you're not serving to just be seen.
Yes.
You're not serving to even be lifted.
Yes. You're not even serving, yes.
You are serving because this is the culture of the kingdom. And you just want to give.
Yeah.
You just want to give. Yeah. There are people that come into life, and these people are takers in life.
Yeah.
But there are others that are givers. And for the giver, you would never lack. Pastor will speak about the pipe that passes water.
Yes.
It will never be dry.
Channel, yes, because of
that pipe will never be dry. Because it's a channel that water flows through.
True.
Some people have blocked entrance that water will not enter here, please.
Yes.
And they will always be dry. So service is you pouring out your life. Jesus poured out his life.
Yes,
you pour out your life. He poured out his life in prayer.
Yes.
He prayed for his disciples. He even prayed for Peter that the enemy plan to sift you
as wheat.
But I've prayed for you. So
that your
in prayer, you are serving in your work. You are serving your workplace. You are serving at home. You are serving everywhere. So service is a lifestyle, and you engage it anywhere and everywhere.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. I hope this session bless you, and do well to also listen to our past sessions, the one we had before now, and that leads to this, so you can have a whole view of what God is doing. The Renew, it's set to bring God's counsel concerning things, and this is one of it. Please, we must understand that we don't allow the worldly system to define our identity. We don't allow that system. No, that's not what detects. In fact, it is light that takes off darkness, not the other way around. Yes, the appearance of light, darkness, vanish and all. So not the other way. So we have to make it loud. You must serve wholeheartedly, and you must serve with understanding. And you must give your best, not because you want to receive something, but because you know this is the way of the kingdom.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Well, my brother,
always a good
always
time
a pleasure to have this
always
conversation.
A good time with you. Please,
like,
comment, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe.
Yes.
Even click on the notification button so that anytime our episodes or our videos are out, you get a notification.
Engage immediately.
Our email is showing on on the screen. So check out what we've spoken about. If you have questions, send to the email. If you have topics of interest, things that are bothering you, concerns, send to the email
address.
God bless you. God bless you. Have an amazing rest of the week.